You're scrolling through your feed, expecting to see real conversations, real voices. But lately, something feels off, like the noise has changed, and it's harder to find the signal. It's not just the volume. It's the kind of content that's flooding in, automated, repetitive, and designed to distract rather than connect. The community is growing, but so are the challenges. We're seeing a surge in bot activity, making it harder to distinguish real voices from artificial ones. To keep the community safe and meaningful, we've had to adjust our filters. These changes are necessary, but they come with a cost. Some legitimate posts might get caught in the process. We understand the frustration. We're working hard to ensure that real voices are heard, even in these challenging times. If you're seeing something you think should be visible, reach out. Your voice matters, and we're here to help. So what exactly are we talking about? We're talking about a surge in automated posts and comments flooding our community. These bots are spreading misinformation, spam, and noise. These posts are not just annoying, they are harmful. They are designed to distort conversations, confuse members, and erode trust in our community. To combat this, we've had to increase our filter settings. It's a necessary but imperfect solution. These filters are designed to catch bots, but they can also mistakenly flag real posts. We understand that this might affect users who rely on throwaway accounts. We're doing our best to review these posts and restore them as quickly as possible. If you believe your post was wrongly flagged, please reach out to us through Mard Mail. We're here to help and ensure your voice isn't lost in the noise. You might not realize it, but every post you make, every comment you leave is part of a larger conversation. When bots flood the platform, it's not just noise, it's a distortion of the very community you rely on. Moderation isn't just about removing spam. It's about protecting the integrity of your voice, your ideas, and the trust that your community has in each other. You might be using a throwaway account to protect your privacy, but that same account could be flagged as spam, and your message could be lost before it even reaches the community. This isn't just a technical issue, it's a human one. Your words matter, and when the system gets overwhelmed, your voice can be drowned out by noise that has no place here. By understanding how moderation works, you're not just being informed, you're taking an active role in protecting the space you care about. We've been here before. Back in 2018, the site faced a surge in automated spam, and the community rallied to protect its integrity. The pressure was intense, but the response was strong. Each time, the system had to adapt. The Mards worked tirelessly, refining filters and introducing new tools. But the balance was always delicate, between protecting the space and preserving the voices that made it real. The past few months have brought a new wave of bots, more sophisticated and harder to detect. We've had to act quickly, adjusting the filters to keep the platform safe for real users. We know this change will affect some legitimate users, especially those who rely on throwaway accounts. We're sorry for any inconvenience and are working to minimize the impact. This isn't just about fixing a problem, it's about maintaining trust. The community has always been the heart of this space, and we're committed to keeping it safe and open for everyone. We're not just fighting bots, we're fighting for the future of this space. And we'll keep doing it, one post at a time. Imagine you're sending a message to a friend, but it gets lost in the crowd. That's what's happening right now with some of your messages. Some people are just pretending to be real, sending messages that don't belong to them. That's why we're being extra careful now. We're adjusting our tools to catch those fake messages, but it might accidentally catch some real ones too. We're sorry for the inconvenience. We're doing our best to make sure real messages get through, even if it takes a little longer. Your voice matters. If you think your message was caught by mistake, you can let us know. We're here to help. We're working hard to keep the community safe and fair. Thank you for understanding. Before any post even reaches the community, it goes through a series of automated checks. These checks are designed to detect patterns that may indicate bot activity or spam. The system looks for things like unusual posting frequency, repetitive content, and suspicious account behavior. This helps us identify potential bot activity early on. That's why we've temporarily increased our filtering sensitivity. This is a necessary step to keep our community safe and free from harmful bot activity. We understand that this might occasionally catch legitimate posts, and we're working closely to ensure those are reviewed and released as quickly as possible. If you're using a throwaway account or feel your post might have been caught, please reach out to Mard Mail and let us know. We're here to help. Once a post is flagged, it enters a system that checks for suspicious patterns, like rapid-fire messages or accounts with no history. This system compares the content against a growing database of known spam patterns. including common bot behaviors and phishing attempts. The process is designed to be fast, but it's not perfect. Some real posts, especially from throwaway accounts, might be mistakenly flagged. That's why we're adjusting our filters to be more cautious, which means we may need to review more posts manually to ensure nothing important gets lost. We understand the inconvenience this may cause, and we're working hard to balance protection with fairness for every member. The clever twist lies in the algorithm's ability to adapt in real time, learning from patterns and anomalies as they emerge. It doesn't just filter based on keywords or spammy behavior. It looks at the context, the timing, and even the relationships between posts. The filter doesn't just block. It weighs, analyzes, and then decides what's safe to let through without compromising the integrity of the community. It's a balance between protection and fairness, between keeping the space clean and ensuring that real voices aren't silenced. This is how we protect the space you care about, while still giving you the chance to be heard, even if you're not using your real account. Behind every post, there's a silent algorithm working tirelessly, parsing words, checking patterns, and learning from the noise. It's not just about catching bots, it's about understanding the chaos and finding clarity in the data. These systems are trained on vast datasets of spam and legitimate content, learning to distinguish between the two. The more data they process, the more precise their filters become, but precision comes at a cost. This is where the science of machine learning meets the art of human judgment. Algorithms can spot patterns, but they can't always grasp the nuance, the intent, or the context behind a single message. The filters are evolving, adapting to new threats, but they are not perfect. That's why we need your help to guide the system, to provide context, and to ensure that your voice isn't lost in the noise. Imagine a city where every street is flooded with fake traffic. The streets are so busy that it's hard to tell which cars are real and which are just pretending to be there. To keep the city running, the traffic police increase speed limits and use more advanced cameras to spot fake cars. But this means some real cars get caught in the net, especially those that don't follow the usual routes. If you think you've been caught in the system, you can always stop by the police station and ask for a review. They'll take your case seriously and do their best to clear you. It's not perfect, but it's a necessary step to keep the city safe from fake traffic. We're all in this together, and we're learning as we go. Some of the messages you see may feel like they're coming from a script, but they're not. These are real posts, created by people who meant well, but their words got caught in a system that's trying to keep the community safe. We know it's frustrating when your voice gets lost in the noise. It's not easy to feel like your message isn't being heard, especially when you're trying to contribute something meaningful. Some of the posts you see might have strange formatting or feel off. That's not because they're fake, it's because they've been flagged by the system for review. They're waiting for a human to check. We're not perfect, and we're not asking you to believe us blindly. We're asking you to trust that we're trying, and that your message is important, even if it's not getting through the filter right now. Little sponsor break. Check out the Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. There's a QR code on screen and a link below to see it. Now subscribe and let's keep going. If you're concerned about your post not being seen, we encourage you to reach out. We're here to help and we want to hear from you. Your voice matters, even when the system isn't ready for it. Myth number 1 is that we're targeting real users. But the truth is, we're fighting against bots and spam. These automated accounts flood the platform with noise, making it harder for real voices to be heard. Bots don't think, they don't care, and they don't follow the rules. They post without intent, comment without purpose, and take up space that could be used for real conversations. When we tighten our filters, we're not punishing real users. We're simply trying to clean up the noise and ensure that the voices that matter aren't drowned out. We understand that this might occasionally catch some real posts, especially those from throwaway accounts. But we're committed to reviewing them as quickly as possible to make sure your voice isn't lost. If you're concerned about your post being caught, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help, and we want to make sure your voice is heard, not silenced. Myth number 2 is that all bots are harmless and just want to help the community. But the reality is, many bots are designed to spread misinformation or disrupt discussions. These bots often mimic real users, making it hard to tell them apart. They can flood channels with spam, manipulate conversations, or even push biased narratives under the guise of community support. We're adjusting our filters to adapt to this new challenge, even if it means some legitimate posts might get flagged. It's a necessary step to keep the space safe and meaningful. If you're a member who's been affected, we encourage you to reach out through Mod Mail. Your voice matters, and we're committed to getting your posts reviewed as quickly as possible. Together, we can continue to build a space that's not only open, but also trustworthy. Thank you for your understanding and for being part of this important conversation. You're scrolling through your feed, expecting to see real conversations, real voices. Instead, you're met with automated posts that mimic human behavior, making it harder to distinguish truth from noise. These bots don't just spam links or fake news. They pretend to be part of the community, engaging in discussions, responding to comments, and even appearing in live streams. It's like having an army of invisible strangers in your space. This isn't just a technical issue, it's a shift in how our digital spaces are shaped. The more bots mimic human behavior, the more we lose sight of who is truly there and who is just pretending to be. Even when we try to be careful, we're still vulnerable. A single post from a throwaway account might be flagged, delayed, or even removed, leaving real voices unheard in a sea of automated noise. But we're not just reacting, we're adapting. We're learning to recognize the patterns, to question what we see, and to keep the human element alive in a world increasingly filled with machines. Imagine a user who has spent years building a genuine community, sharing meaningful content, and connecting with others. Their posts are thoughtful, well-researched, and valuable to the community. One day their post gets flagged. It's not because of anything they did wrong. It's just that the system, now more sensitive, caught it in its tighter filters. In the meantime, the community feels the impact. Posts that should have sparked discussion are hidden, and the energy of the group starts to wane. The mods are working hard to fix it, but the system is still learning. The balance between security and community is delicate, and it's not always easy to find. This is the reality of moderation in a world where bots are everywhere. It's not just about filtering spam, it's about protecting the voices that matter. We're not just facing a flood of spam, we're dealing with a full-blown bot invasion. These accounts are multiplying like clockwork, overwhelming our systems and bending our filters to their will. Our moderation tools are being pushed to their absolute limits. Every second, more spam is being generated than our filters can process, and we're forced to adjust our parameters to keep up. We're not just defending our platform, we're fighting for the integrity of every voice that matters. Every real person who uses this space deserves to be heard, not buried under the noise. This is a moment of reckoning. The tools we've built are being tested like never before, and we're not backing down. We're adapting, we're learning, and we're fighting for the future of our community. We know this isn't easy. The system is under strain and mistakes are inevitable. But we're committed to doing better, to being faster, and to making sure your voice isn't lost in the chaos. When the system misfires, it's not just a technical error, it's a personal failure. A legitimate post, created with care and intention, gets caught in the net of a flawed filter. The user, who may be struggling with real issues, sees their message flagged, sometimes even deleted, before it can reach those who need it most. We understand the weight of this mistake. It's a reminder that even the best systems can fail when the stakes are high and the pressure is real. That's why we're working harder to fix it. We're not just trying to catch bots, we're trying to protect the voices that matter. If you're affected, reach out. We're here to listen, to help, and to make sure your voice isn't lost in the noise. There's a cost to these changes that isn't always seen on the surface. For many, the real burden is the frustration of seeing their voice drowned out by systems that can't tell the difference between a real person and a machine. Some of you are using throwaway accounts to express yourselves, and now those posts are more likely to be caught in the net. That's not a mistake. It's a side effect of trying to keep the space safe. This isn't just about filters or algorithms. It's about the human experience of being misunderstood, of your message being lost in the noise, of your voice being treated like a spam message. We know it's not ideal, we know it's not fair, and we're working to fix it. But in the meantime, we ask for your patience, your understanding, and your continued trust. The first clue came from a pattern in the data. A surge in low-quality content that didn't match our usual traffic trends. It was subtle, but there was a rhythm to it, like a shadow creeping across the platform. Analysts started digging deeper. They noticed that these posts were coming from accounts with no history, no profile, just empty spaces and random usernames. It was like watching a ghost leave a trail of footprints. Then came the bots. Automated scripts flooding the comments, repeating the same phrases over and over. It was like a chorus of voices trying to drown out the real conversation. The real challenge was figuring out the scale. These bots weren't just spamming, they were mimicking real users, making it hard to tell what was real and what wasn't. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but the haystack was moving. But the real breakthrough was when the system started flagging patterns we couldn't see. It was like a hidden language of BART behavior, and only the system could decode it. Humans needed to trust the machine, even when it felt like a betrayal. There's a peculiar scenario where a user accidentally creates a post using a throwaway account meant for a completely different purpose. They never intended to share anything, but somehow the message ends up being flagged as spam. This isn't a malicious act, but the system can't distinguish between intention and accident. It sees the throwaway account and the lack of engagement and flags it as suspicious. This situation highlights how even the most well-meaning actions can be misinterpreted by automated systems. It's a reminder that technology isn't always capable of reading between the lines. If you find yourself in a similar situation, don't be discouraged. Reach out through Mard Mail. Our team is here to help and to learn from these edge cases. We're working to improve the system, one edge case at a time, even the weirdest ones. Your voice matters and your experience helps us grow. We're not here to judge intent, but we do have to ask. What if someone tried to abuse this system on purpose? What if they flooded the platform with fake accounts just to test how the filters react? It's a valid question. We've seen attempts at this before and we're prepared. Our filters are designed to be adaptive, not static. They learn and evolve to keep up with new threats. This is why transparency is key. We need to be clear about how we're handling these challenges so that users understand the choices we're making and the reasons behind them. Okay, hear me out. The Stanley Quencher 40R's Tumblr. Scan that QR code or grab it from the link in the description and hit subscribe for more pics like this. We're not here to create a system that's impossible to exploit. We're here to build one that's fair, transparent, and works for everyone, even when the world tries to test it. Imagine a city where the streets are filled with both real people and invisible robots, each moving with purpose. The real people are trying to be heard, but the robots are making it hard to tell who's genuine. The robots are not just adding noise, they're changing the way we interact. They're posting, commenting, and even pretending to care, making it harder for real voices to be seen. So we've had to change the way we listen. We've tightened the filters to block the noise, but it means we might miss some real voices in the process. We're doing our best to catch the real voices, but it's like trying to find a single song in a symphony. We're working to make sure you're still heard, even when the noise is louder. If you're worried about your voice being lost, we encourage you to reach out. We're here to help, and we want to make sure your words are heard, not hidden. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.